Evening, everybody. Well, so far we've looked at standard form where ax plus bx equals c, and tonight we're going to take a look at slope-intercept form. This is just a different way of writing an equation with the relationship between x and y, and it has some advantages in helping us find, from the name, the slope and the y-intercept. So with that said, let's take a look at the slope-intercept form and how it can help us. Well, as we mentioned in class today, the slope-intercept form is when we write the equation y equals, and then we're left with x and the coefficient with the x, and then also the constant. So the standard form for that is y equals m, where m stands for slope, mx plus b. And so what this says is, if we write an equation in the y equals mx plus b form, whatever that number is will always be the slope, and whatever this number is will always be the y-intercept. And you can play around with this. I mean, I know in class we use the examples where it was written in standard form, and we did the cover-up method, and we were able to find the slope and the y-intercept. But as obviously we can also manipulate these equations around so that we can turn the equation to look something like this, divide by 2, and now I have something that looks like this. So my slope here is negative 3 over 2. My rise is negative 3, and my run is 2. And that's so important. That's why we have been preaching about leaving your answers as improper fractions. Because now when I go to find the slope of this line, or when I go to graph this line, I know my slope is a rise of negative 3 and a run of 2. My y-intercept is at 3. So let's take a look at how this helps us when we're dealing with graphing, finding slope, finding y-intercepts, and using it in a manner to solve linear equations and linear functions. Well, obviously the first place that it comes in to help us is if they ask us to find the y-intercept, or they ask us to find the slope. If it's in y equals mx plus b, the slope-intercept form, then we can very easily answer this. So they ask what my y-intercept is. Well, my y-intercept must be 8. By the way, what is the slope here? Good, the slope is 5. Okay. Find the slope of the line y equals 2/3 x plus 1. All right, well again, looking at y equals mx plus b, we now know that the coefficient is the slope. So my slope of this line is 2 over 3. 2 divided by 3. And so that would be a rise of, on any graph that would start at 1, it would be a rise of 2, 1, 2, and a run of 3. Rise of 2, run of 3. And we'll do a little bit more practice in a second. Let's make sure our answer is correct. Good. Well, here they've asked us to graph the line using the slope-intercepts. So let's take a look at how we can use this. Well, we have y equals 1/8 x minus 9. So I know that my slope, my y-intercept is at negative 9, and then I know that I have a rise of 1 and a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to check it. My y-intercept is at negative 9. I have a rise of 1 and a run of 8. I've got a rise of 1 and a run of 8. Okay, so here we have y equals negative 4x minus 5. So I know my y-intercept is at negative 5. My slope is negative 4. So I'm going to drop 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. Is my slope a negative? Absolutely. Did I start at negative 5? Absolutely. And I submit. Okay. Let's take a look at a different. Well, the final way that sometimes we have deal with this is sometimes we're given the information and they tell us to write the equation. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We know that y equals mx plus b, where b is my y-intercept. So my y-intercept here is negative 2. Well, what's my slope? Well, it looks like I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go over 1. Okay, so my slope is negative 5x, and my b is negative 2. Let's just check it one more time. My y-intercept is at negative 2. I go from negative 2 down to negative 7, and I go over 1. So let's plug this in and see if we got it right. Okay, great. All right, let's do one more and then we'll call it an evening. Okay, so I'm looking here. They want me to write the equation. I know that I have y equals, my y-intercept is at negative 7. Okay, I'm looking for good points. There's a good point right there. And there's another good point right there. So it looks like I'm dropping 2 and I'm running 1. So negative 2x minus 7. Let's see how I did. Great. So let's take a look at what we've talked about. We now know that when I put this in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, it'll tell me my y-intercept, and it will also tell me the slope. Please go to the post-video quiz number 3, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow about more about how the slope-intercept form works and the advantages of using it. I hope you have a good evening, and I will talk to you later.